Welcome to the Lucro platform. In this tutorial video, I want to showcase the new Lucro Metrics feature, which is now available in your dashboard. So when you log in and you will land yourself on the growth plan page, on the left-hand side, you can navigate to our Lucro Metrics new feature, or when you click on any of the performance areas of your practice, so total income, expenses, team, marketing, operations, or products, you will be directed to the Lucro Metrics feature. So I'll showcase this now. If I click on total income, you will now be pushed through to Lucro Metrics. And Lucro Metrics is our advanced metric page on that particular item. And here we go in depth into a number of different aspects of this area of your practice to give you in-depth insights into what is happening in this particular area, both in terms of what you should be thinking about going forward, as well as some historical comparisons to help you, make decisions and move your practice in the right direction. So I'll start with the profit section. It will highlight in the middle where is your profit in the current month and give you an indication of where you are on our perfect P&L status bar. And then we have some other little components, like we have a metric called the perfect P&L income. And on every single page, there is this perfect P&L income, perfect P&L expense, and then a comparison to next month or current month's target and your next month's target. So I just want to briefly explain what is the perfect P&L income and what is the perfect P&L expense. It's easier to do it on an expense category because it makes a little bit more sense, and then you'll understand it on other categories. So we're looking here at team costs. In this example, our team costs for the month were $58,000. The perfect P&L tells us they should be around 30%. We achieved a 32.61% rate. Okay, I'm obviously using the demo account, and it will tell us where we are in that status. So we're in this neutral status. The perfect P&L income basically says, if you spend $58,000 on team costs, what should your income level be in order to maximize the ratio or to get to the ratio of 30% team to income costs? And in this case, it should be $196,000, and we are only at 180, which means we are 8% below that ideal range. The tooltip tells us exactly what it is. So if you go into the tooltip, it'll say, with team costs at $58,000, income must reach at least $196,000 to meet our ideal team to income ratio of 30%, which is currently 8% below that benchmark. Likewise, our perfect P&L expense is the reverse calculation. If we achieved an income level of $180,000, what should our team expense be? Well, it should be $54,000. Therefore, we're 8% above that, and that tooltip will give you the same information. This is extremely helpful when we are trying to analyze where should we be. Okay, I've achieved X outcome. I know I've spent X amount of money, but what should I have spent? And what should my income be in order to support this cost? And it helps us start to build ideas around what do we need to change in our practice and some of the focal areas that we need to give attention to. So whichever category you go to, this perfect P&L income and perfect P&L expense will give you some insights into where you are into relation to where you should be. On the right-hand side, again, I just want to highlight in the middle. So if I went to income, it will tell you where you are in that range. If I went to expense, this is total expenses. We're still in the blue here, which is great. It'll tell us what that range looks like. Again, total perfect P&L income, perfect P&L expense. Then on the right-hand side, we just are measuring our current achievement in the month to what our target was, and then what is our current achievement this month to next month target, just to see if we're on pace for next month or not. Again, the tooltips give us some great insights into what that metric is telling us. Below there, we have some historical comparisons. So again, now I'm going to go to one of these. It's got operational costs. Okay. In operational costs, it will tell us what was the previous months. We have now increased. We've had an increased expenditure rate from the previous month by 3%. Again, the tooltip will tell us what that is busy showcasing. The 3-month average. So on average of the last 3 months, we spent $28,000. We are now $3,200 below that, which is really good. Year-to-date average, so at the beginning of the year, in this case 2025, so January until the end of July, we've averaged $26,000 expend here. We're down $1,100. And then we look at what was last year's average, and then we can compare those 4 different categories across all of them. How are you doing in comparison to historical review? Then below that, we have a trend graph that's telling us how much money we've spent in that particular expense category, or whatever that performance view is. This is our profit line. This is our 12-month trend for our profit line. What this tool also allows us to do is to overlay some other features. So you can have a look at profit, for instance. Okay, so there's my profit in relation to team. And you can overlay all of them if you want. The graph does become a little bit harder to read. That is why when we land on a metric, we just isolate that one, and then you have the functionality to then overlay whichever other metric you want to overlay to kind of look at historical trends. And then below that, we just have a vendor breakdown. So we're obviously looking at July for marketing. There's our vendor breakdown. There's our total spend. That $16,000 is that $16,000. Yes, it's good in relation to our perfect P&L, but here's a little breakdown of what those actual expenses are right there. And so that is how the Lucro Metrics works. It's one of our more exciting features that we built. It really goes just beyond baseline reporting. It starts to give us a really nice insight into where you should be, so giving you direct insight into where you should be in every particular area, so you can go in and look at that at any point in time. Some historical reviews, obviously a trend line with we can overlay some other metrics, and then our vendor breakdown as well. Just note on the profit section, there is no vendor breakdown. It is a profit, obviously, so we can't give you a vendor breakdown of a profit, but we can then obviously on all the expenses, all your income, all your expenses. This expenses are total expenses. It's every single one. And then these are a breakdown of each individual focal area. Hope that's helpful, and I hope you enjoy utilizing the Lucro Metrics.